Okay, so for part one of our album, we're going to put this together, and it gives you a list of everything that you need. And when you open up your album, make sure your flap is on top, and you're going to have a chipboard piece, you're going to have some rectangle pieces, you're going to have some tags, and you're going to have some pages. We are not working with any of this right now, so I'm going to go ahead and set it aside. What we will be working with are these two triangle shapes and this one long piece. And I don't know if you can see, but these are scored. Kind of hard to see, but they are scored, as well as our corner tags are scored. So you're going to need a bone folder, and you're also going to need some glue. And then if you look at your album, your top piece is also scored. So what we're going to do first off is we are going to go with, oh, your sides are scored as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to deal with the scores first. So those are going to get folded in. You just want to fold both sides in on those scores. And then just take your bone folder and run it across. So now you've got, this is what you're going to have, and you're going to do the same thing to your top as well. And this is so your pages fit. Oh. Let's put that on silent. And just make sure all your pieces are scored well. Okay, so we're scored, and this is what we're looking like. It looks like a little box. But now we've got to put our bottom flap on, and your bottom flap is also scored. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my scores before I attach this. Starting with the bottom one first. Make sure you get a nice crisp fold on your scores. Alright, and again, so we've got our scores in. And what we're going to do is this gets adhered to the bottom on the inside. And take whatever glue that you are working with. I'm just going to use my Nouveau glue. And I'm going to attach it, and make sure that when you glue it, it's so your bottom will fold up. So, and you want to do it on the very edge. So for me, I'm going to turn it around. This is how it works best for me. I get to see better where I'm attaching. And you want to make sure you are on the edge. You may have to hold it a little bit depending on the glue that you're using. I like a wet glue because it gives me a few minutes to work if I need to. So yeah, we're right there on the edge. And I've got my scores in. So now this flap will fold up. These will fold in. Well, actually, these will fold in. Then your flap will fold up and your flap will fold down. Now, let's work on our corner scored. So I'm going to go ahead and do my scores. And now when you do these, make sure these are good and scored, and you're going to have an overlap in the corner. I'm going to add just a little dollop of glue so that I know that that stays. I'm going to set that aside, let that glue dry, and then I'm going to go to the next one. And same thing, you're going to do your scores. Flatten everything out. I'm going to add that little dollop of glue again. Set that one aside. Now, it's just about adhering them. And again, take your glue, whatever glue you prefer. Like I said, I prefer a wet glue. Use your tape runner or whatever. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And again, make sure you're on that edge. Give it a little hold. And now the other side. Oops. And again, the same thing, get your edge. And attach. And give it a hold down. So now we've got our pockets done. Your pockets will fold in, your bottom folds up, and then this folds down. So now we've got our album put together, and now it's time to decorate it and create. For this part of the video, we're going to decorate the outside of it. Part 2 is going to be decorating the tags and pages on the inside. So we'll be right back. I'm going to use for our album that come in the kit are the 3/4 designed shutter glam papers, and they're really, really pretty. And your top sheet, don't toss out, because you've got some tags on the back that will work, I think, really well with the tags that come with the album. Let's see the size. Well, the album tags are a little bit wider, but you can always cut them down if you want to use these, or just use these. You don't have to use what's in there. But we're not going to use that right now because we're just decorating. And you're also going to get some pre-cut die cuts in here. You just need to punch them out. We're going to set these aside as well too, because we're not using these. And like I said, I already chose some paper, so the extras we're going to set aside because these are going to become our pages. So I have chosen my paper for the cover, and I realized something that I'm going to go back and add in the edit as well too. I put down our corners, and we probably should not have put those down until we decorated the inside. So we'll work around that if you did already. We'll find a suitable workaround. But for now, we are going to work on the covers first. And I've chosen 2 sheets, and the one thing about 3/4 design paper is they're actually set up to do 2-page layouts to do. So if you look at the paper like this, it's kind of made for a 2-page layout, and the back sides are exactly the same. So we're going to use the front of one and then the back of the other. Unfortunately, one sheet won't cover the whole thing because this flap is a little bit longer. So it goes over our 8 inches, but that's okay. We are going to measure and we're going to get to it. So this is my first sheet, and I think I'm going to do the bottom first. And our bottom is 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 and 7/8. So I'm just going to cut this to 6 initially. And our width of this is just under 8 inches as well too. It's at 7 and 7/8 as well too. So I'm going to have to cut just a little bit off on the edge. I have to cut the tiniest amount off. There you see we have it, and it is a little big. So again, I'm going to have to cut the tiniest amount off as well across the top. But remember, I purposely cut it big. So take that, we'll take that tiny piece off. And we should have a perfect fit now. And we do, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut the top piece as well. Our top piece is 3 and 3.5. So we're going to take our top piece, and I want that at 3.5. Now make sure when you're finding your pieces that you aren't cutting completely through like a design. Like I wanted to keep that frame, and so I'm going to take that tiny piece off the other edge. My light's a little bright. I can't see my... There we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this with our cover first. I'm going to set my other pieces aside. And because this is a diamond, it doesn't matter how I adhere this. Okay, so we've got our cover so far, and I like it. I do. The one thing I probably would have changed, and I'm going to go ahead, well, I'll wait till afterwards. I probably could have inked, I would have liked to have inked my edges, but I can still do that once I'm finished with covering it. So next we're going to go inside, and I'm going to do the inside panels, and I'm going to use this sheet because I want to have the frames on one side. And I could do it either way. I could have the frames on this side, or I could have the frames on this side. It really doesn't matter. And one sheet will cover this because these are 3 and 7/8 each. So I'm going to cut these. I'm going to cut this side first because I want my frames and I don't want to have to cut off any of those. So I've got my frames and now I can put those on either side, and then I just need to trim this down. And then we just got to take that little bit off of the bottom of these because, again, remember, this isn't a full 8. And actually on our insides, these are actually 7 inches. So I'm going to take a full inch off of this one. And for this one, I'm going to take a half off of the top, off of the bottom. Because again, remember, I don't want to cut through my, I can take a little bit off of the frames, but I don't want to cut all the way through my frames. So there. That's what it's going to look like on the inside here. And now we're going to go ahead and adhere those. Okay, so far, this is our inside and our cover. And I am loving it so far. Let's go ahead and take care of the rest of it. We're going to do our top flap, our middle, and our bottom flap. And so we're going to start with our middle. I am using this sheet right here. And let's check our dimensions. Always double check your dimensions. So this one is 7 7/8 by 7. So, nope. Okay, top to bottom it's 7. Correct. And so I'm doing it this way, so I need to take an inch off of the bottom. Actually, I'm just going to take, yeah, I'll just do it. An inch off the bottom, and then 7 7/8 the other side. Take my little piece off. Make sure we have a good fit because we need to make sure that we can still fold this up. And yeah, it looks like we need just a little tiny sliver off the edge. Just a little tiny sliver. Okay. Okay, so we are good with our top and bottom. And we are good with our sides. So we can go ahead and now glue this down. Okay. Next up, we've got to do our top and our bottom. And I've picked some other sheets. Or actually, no, I'm going to use the reverse of what we did on the outside. And then that way, I'll have some extra sheets left over. So for the top, we're going to put the diamonds at the top. And down at the bottom, that's not the sheet we used. Okay, we got the top and the bottom figured out. We're not doing the diamonds. We grabbed another sheet and we are going to adhere these and then we'll work on these sides. Okay, now let's get the top done. Okay, so we've got that. Now we've got to work on these pockets because, again, like I said, we should have done our sides before we put our pockets on. But I'll be right back. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I figured this one out. And as you can see, it's there, but you're going to have a little bit of an edge. And if that doesn't bother you, then we got this going. So let's do the other side. These are cut at 3.5 by 7, but now we're going to have to adjust a little bit to get it in the pocket. So actually what I did was I cut this one just under 7 because it's not going to go all the way down in. So we cut it just under 7. Cut the wrong side off, but that's okay. So now we've got it inside, but now we've got to cut it just a little bit shorter because it's just over the fold. So I'm just going to take a little sliver off. The tiniest, tiniest sliver. So I did that. And now let's see how it looks. We got it all the way in, and I want to make sure it's going to be okay to fold, and it will. So now I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. As you can see, it fit, except I have the little tiniest edge right there, and that's really not going to bother me. But it does fold over perfectly, and we fold it up. And we're going to do our pockets. And we will be done with the inside of this, and we will be done with part 1. And I am going to take, I think I'm going to take the diamonds, and we're going to do that. And probably the easiest way to do this would be, okay, this is just a little over 3.5, like 3 7/8 wide, and then the height is going to be just over 4.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my square. What did I say on the width? 3 7/8. No. Yeah, 3 7/8. And then how tall did I say? Oh, we're at exactly the right height. So now the thing is to just cut this on a diagonal. And I should have perfect corners. And because this is a diamond pattern, it doesn't matter. So that one will go there. Oop. And that one, nope, that one won't go that way. Oh, I do have to flip it over. I'm sorry, but that's fine. I like the pattern on the back anyway. That goes perfectly, and that goes perfectly. Happy accidents. Perfect there. No, over here. And there we are. It does look a little busy, but we're going to tone it down a little bit with some chipboard and things like that. So this is our album for right now. And next we are going to, for part 2, we're going to do the inside. We're going to do some pages and do some decorating. You're going to need some cardstock, matching cardstock of your choice for this when we do the inside of it. You're going to need your leftover papers. I set aside 4 papers that I want to use for my pages. So you're going to need some cardstock and your papers and embellishments, and we're going to need some ribbon and flowers and things like that. But so far, this has been Kim for Jolie Kit Club. And I am working with our July cards, tags, and more kit. You can find that on our website at www.trejoliekits.com. And stay tuned next week when we do part 2. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, and thank you for joining us. But also make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the video, so then that way you'll be notified every time we upload a video. Plus it'll help the algorithm for us, and we will pop up organically as well too. So until next week, I'll see ya. Bye.